The readings will now be given by Mishaela from Canada.
I will read from the Bible. Malachi. Have we not all one Father? Has not one God created us? Why do we deal treacherously every man against his brother by profaning the covenant of our fathers? Isaiah. As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Lord shall be known towards his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies. John. So Jesus came again into Cana of Galilee, where he made the water wine. And there was a certain nobleman whose son was sick at Capernaum. When he heard that Jesus was come out of Judea into Galilee, he went unto him and besought him that he would come down and heal his son, for he was at the point of death. Then said Jesus unto him, Except ye see signs and wonders, ye will not believe. The nobleman said unto him, Sir, come down, ere my child die. Jesus saith unto him, Go thy way, thy son liveth. And the man believed the word that Jesus had spoken unto him, and he went his way. And as he now was going down, his servants met him and told him, saying, Thy son liveth. Then inquired he of them the hour when he began to amend. And they said unto him, Yesterday at the 7th hour the fever left him. So the father knew that it was at the same hour in which Jesus said unto him, Thy son liveth. And himself believed, and his whole house. Acts. Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill, and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by, I beheld your devotions. I found an altar with this inscription, To the unknown God. Whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you. God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worshipped with man's hands as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things, and hath made of one blood all nations of men, for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed, and the bounds of their habitation, that they should seek the Lord, if haply they might feel after him, and find him, though he be not far from every one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as certain also of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. Ephesians. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. Romans. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. 1 John. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Galatians. And because ye are sons, God hath sent forth the Spirit of his Son into your hearts, crying, Abba, Father. Wherefore thou art no more servant, but a son. And if a son, then an heir of God through Christ. I will now read correlative passages from Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures and prose works by Mary Baker Eddy. To me, God is all. He is best understood as supreme being, as infinite and conscious life, as the affectionate father and mother of all he creates. God and man are not the same, but in the order of divine science, God and man coexist and are eternal. God is the parent mind, and man is God's spiritual offspring. The parent of all human discord was the Adam dream, the deep sleep in which originated the delusion that life and intelligence proceed from and pass into matter. This pantheistic error, or so-called serpent, insists still upon the opposite of truth, saying, Ye shall be as gods, that is, I will make error as real and eternal as truth. In old scriptural pictures, we see a serpent coiled around the tree of knowledge and speaking to Adam and Eve. This represents the serpent in the act of commanding to our first parents the knowledge of good and evil, a knowledge gained from matter or evil instead of from spirit. The portrayal is still graphically accurate. For the common conception of mortal man, a burlesque of God's man is an outgrowth of human knowledge or sensuality a mere offshoot of material sense. To prevent disease or to cure it, the power of truth of divine spirit must break the dream of material senses. If the case is that of a young child or an infant, it needs to be met mainly through the parent's thought, silently or audibly, on the aforesaid basis of Christian Science. The scientist knows that there can be no hereditary disease, since matter is not intelligent and cannot transmit good or evil intelligence to man. And God, the only mind, does not produce pain in matter. The act of yielding one's thought to the undue contemplation of physical wants or conditions induces those very conditions. A single requirement beyond what is necessary to meet the simplest needs of the babe is harmful. Mind regulates the condition of the stomach, bowels, and food, the temperature of children and of man, and matter does not. The wise or unwise views of parents and other persons on these subjects produce good or bad effects on the health of children. According to the beliefs of the flesh, both good and bad traits of the parents are transmitted to their helpless offspring. And God is supposed to impart to man this fatal power. It is cause for rejoicing that this belief is as false as it is remorseless. The prominent laws which forward birth in the divine order of science are these. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Love thy neighbor as thyself. These commands of infinite wisdom, translated into new tongues, their spiritual meaning signify: Thou shalt love spirit only, not its opposite. In every God quality, even in substance, thou shalt recognize thyself as God's spiritual child only. It's the true man and true woman, the all-harmonious male and female, as of spiritual origin, God's reflection. Thus, as children of one common parent, wherein and whereby father, mother, and the child are the divine principle and divine idea, even the divine us, one in good and good in one. With this recognition, man could never separate himself from good God, and he would necessarily entertain habitual love for his fellow man. Only by admitting evil as a reality and entering into a state of evil thoughts can we, in belief, separate one man's interests from those of the whole human family, or thus attempt to separate life from God. This is the mistake that causes much that must be repented of and overcome. Beloved children, the world has need of you, and more as children than as men or women. It needs your innocence, unselfishness, faithful affection, uncontaminated life. You need also to watch and pray that you preserve these virtues unstained and lose them not through contact with the world. What grander ambition is there than to maintain in yourself what Jesus loved, and to know that your example, more than worth, makes morals for mankind. Father, Mother good, lovingly, thee I seek, patient, meek, in the way thou hast, be it slow or fast, up to thee.